I'm just glad I finally made it to this show. I know all the big time people do in Hawaii. I'm finally glad I checked that box. Thank you, Ku'ulei.
Continuing our UH football game week conversation, and we want to welcome in wide receivers coach Jared Ursua. Jared, what's up, my man? How are you doing? And thank you so much for joining us.
What's up, everybody? It's game week. It's big time. It's finally.
Yeah, and we're fired up to chat with you. And actually, I believe this is like the first time I've had you join the show, so I'm really excited to have this conversation. First things first, just want to get your overall thoughts on the team's fall camp and specifically, of course, your unit with the wide receivers.
Well, fall camp has been a great indication of the amount of growth that we've had over the last 3 years. And being a part of this process with Coach Chang, I think one of the most fun things to see right now is not just a commitment to wanting to play great football, but the boys starting to understand what that H represents, and them being fully bought in the workouts and the amount of throwing that we did in the offseason to get this right. And so I thought fall camp and summer were really helpful. And we just can't wait to play someone other than ourselves right now. And so we're really, really excited and can't wait to put the run and shoot on the map here in Hawaii.
Yeah, I know fans will be excited to see some scoring. Looking at fall camp still, what were some of the things that you guys focused and worked on with the wide receivers? And what are some of the positive takeaways that you have?
Well, chemistry was everything. And I think you got a preview of it. I mean, last year we were able to get it kind of rolling. You saw it, we led the conference in passing yards and all these things, and it was a start, but it wasn't quite right. There were just some T's that needed to be crossed and some I's that needed to be dotted. And, bringing Coach Morrison was a big deal. And really kind of fine tuning some of those things. We've had June Jones in the building and talk with us about specifics. And, we want to get it right. And the boys are just so bought in to doing that. The talent was in the room. You're not going to see a difference of names. It's a lot of people and familiar individuals that we, became familiar with last season. But I think what you're going to see is a little bit more consistency because these guys have playtime experience. And then you're going to see a little bit of depth because we do have guys in the room. I think there's 340 some odd catches that are returning this upcoming season. So there's a lot of experience and depth, and we just can't wait to cut them loose and let them run the deep ball.
Catch some Shager bombs as we are joined with UH football wide receivers coach Jared Ursua.
Yeah, coach. Talk about some of the new coming guys in the receiver room, whatever the slots or the wideouts. I think got a bunch of transfers as well, a bunch of freshmen coming in. And what do you like from them?
So it's a great question, and it brings us to the guys that are Spencer Curtis, who's been brought over from Nevada. He's done a great job in learning the system. Another new receiver who's not a new player is Tylen Hines, right? And playing on the outside and giving us a heavier dosage of speed. Then you got Dekel Crowditz from Kentucky. And if you don't see him in the pregame, you might not see him at all because he moves and he can run. So you got to keep your eyes glued down on him. And he's an exciting player that we can't wait to get out there. But then you're going to see guys like, familiar faces like Ku'ulei Agbayani and Tamati Malala and Jonah Panoke and Carson Pupunu who have played and who have helped. And I think the fun part about the group that I love in being around them is just how close-knit they are. They're a fun group. They have fun. If you're around them, you always see them kind of laughing and having a good time. And I think there's a different sense of confidence because of what they understand now and how this is supposed to be. So we're excited. We're really excited to get going with these guys.
Yeah, and we are joined by wide receivers coach for the University of Hawaii, Jared Ursua. All right, game week, here we go. You guys are preparing. So what has been the vibes with your receiving core, and how are you guys preparing for Delaware State?
Well, as exciting and anxious as we are to get on the field, I think the run and shoot, as we all know it, is still about taking what they give you. And that's going to be a really big point of emphasis this week. Is just making sure that we don't force things. We work and operate within the conditions of the offense. that we make the plays available and really take care of the football. And that just means being assignment sound. So really, our focus this week is really fundamentals and be great with our fundamentals. If we get the fundamentals right, I think we're going to have the outcome we all want and expect. But that's really the push this week: is don't get greedy, do the things we need to do right now, play the game with big energy, go make the plays that are available to you, but don't force things. Let's just let the game happen. I think the fun, explosive moments are going to happen.
What has it been like for your squad? We talk a lot about how solid the defensive unit is. So what has it been like for your guys to be able to be challenged by the defense at the University of Hawaii?
We love it. I mean, you got guys like Cam Stone, JoJo Forrest, who have played a lot of football. You have King, Peter Manuma, Meki Pei, Kilinahe. So our defense gives us a fantastic, and it's not a look, it's competition. When we're in camp, you're trying to win reps. Their coaches are getting them fired up. You got, Coach CB giving them, the juice talk, right before they come out. You can see them come out. They want to win. And it's been great competition. And I think, the token phrase of iron sharpening iron is really what we saw during camp. Great competition. There were days where we came out and did really good. They came back the next day and kicked our butts. And so it's been a really healthy camp of just pushing the limits, finding ways to get better, and making sure it's game day every day. And that's what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and it's almost game day. It's almost here against Delaware State. What have you guys seen so far in terms of the Delaware State defense and how you're preparing your receivers? Especially, you don't want to overlook a team. You don't want to take any team lightly. So what have you been telling your guys, and what have you seen from Delaware State?
Delaware State does a really good job of generally keeping things in front of them. They play a very sound defense. They struggled last year, right? I mean, it's indicated by their record, but they bring a lot of those guys back. And so you're going to see natural growth and improvement. Those guys are going to be better. They've gone through a full off season now. And what they bring back and what they brought in through the portal, I think improved their roster. So they do have good players, and their scheme, I guarantee you, is going to be much more settled in. Where I felt like that was kind of the beginning for them. Some of the growing pains maybe we experienced a few years back, but they are no slouch. They can play football, and they've done it. They did against tough opponents last year in Miami of Ohio and Army as far as their FBS games. So and scored. In fact, I just watched the Miami Ohio. They go down and score on the opening drive. So we can't overlook them. But I think this game really is more about us and what we do than anything else.
All right, and we look forward to it again. But I know you got to get off to a meeting. But before we let you go, what is something that you want to say to the Hawaii football fans out there?
Come be a part of this. It's a great time. This is a great time, and it has taken time. And I think that's the beautiful part about it. Is it's going to make this some of these celebrations, some of these wins feel even more highlighted, because these are the same kids. These are the same kids that went through those difficult games, that we've gone against. I think of last year, Vanderbilt and San Diego State, and they're close, and we're like, oh, they're almost there. And I think this unit is going to make the jump. And so come be a part of it with us. We want you to, and we can't wait to have those moments here in PC Ching Stadium.
There you go. No, nobody wants to miss out. I know we're excited here at Hawaii Sports Radio Network, but I'll let you go to your meeting. But thank you so much for carving out some time in this busy game week.
I'm just glad I finally made it to this show. I know all the big time people do in Hawaii. I'm finally glad I checked that box. Thank you, Ku'ulei. See you, Mike.
Right, we'll see you. Bye, Coach.